Hey everybody, my name is Anonymous, and this is my very first YouTube video, so be gentle. Anyway, I wanted to make my first video on this Warmind. I recently picked this up. I know it's kind of an old game. I don't know, it seems kind of odd that 2 years old is considered an old game, but with how many games come out, how often, that's not fair. It's kind of how things go. Anyway, I've loved this game since I picked it up, and I wanted to show it with you guys in case, someone who's new to the game wants to see something that's a bit more, or is looking into the game wants to see something a bit more recent. So, let's start with the new game. If you don't know what this is a you're managing a group of survivors who are trapped in a city that's under siege by the military or rebels. It doesn't really matter. Your goal is to survive. Oh wait, just realized I did continue. This is an old. It's an older game I've been playing. I'm going to start a new one instead. So another try. So you can pick who you can choose from. See, or who you have. There's one bit of DLC that this game has. It's the little ones, and even without it, this game has a ton of content. The little ones just add kids to the game. Now you don't start with all of these. You only get the very first time you play. You only have Pavel, Bruno, and Marco available. Judging by the names, I would guess that this all is inspired by the conflict that was going on in the Ukraine at the time of this game's making with Crimea, if that's how you pronounce it correctly. It's a lot of this game. It seems very Eastern European, at least in architecture-ish. The names. Anyway, I'm just gonna go with this first one. If I feel like it, I might try playing through with all of them because apparently there is an end game. I haven't gotten to it yet. So let's start with Katia, Bruno, and Pavel. I'm gonna call him Pavel. Just that's easier for me to say. That's what I've been saying in my head this entire time. So without the DLC, there are two starting houses that are different but similar. Let's see which one we get here. The art style of this game is very nice as well. There are just kind of sketchy. It's black and white. There's really no color whatsoever, and it just is beautiful in my opinion. It doesn't have a huge level of detail, but you can't zoom in that much, so the detail is good enough. So this is the house our group of survivors have come across in order to survive. You must make a home here. When the Civil War broke out, many people thought it would only last a couple weeks. It's been years since government and military surrounded the rebels in the capital, cutting off all supply lines. The civilian population trapped in the city are suffering from hunger, disease, and shelling. Katia met both Pavel and Bruno before the war. She used to be a reporter, while Bruno had his own television cooking show. Pavel was a star of the local football team. Katia even interviewed him once. Now they meet in dramatically different circumstances, looking for food and shelter. And again, first time playing as football, it's like, oh, maybe this is North America. Then I remembered that in North America we only call our football, and we call what everyone else calls football soccer. So let's get started here. First, we need to get some of this stuff removed. And I remember in this one, Katia always starts slightly sick. So first, let's start digging through the rubble and finding some supplies. Just been on control. If you right click while you're in control of someone, they will run there. If you just left click once, they'll walk there. You can double left click and they'll run there. You have to be careful though, because at night when you're scavenging and there's people you need to avoid, they will hear that and they won't be too happy. Or if you're people you're trying to avoid. Probably said avoid twice. I don't know how to speak. I don't speak often. Now clearing that rubble is going to take a while. Which we can wait for them to do that. Let's get these two clearing out these. Another thing you might notice is that of these all these characters have little skills that kind of increase what they can do or makes them valuable. Bruno's a good cook. That means he could cook things for less cost. Bargaining skills. She can get when the every few days a trader will come and sell you stuff. It seems like honestly, it seems like as time goes on, their stock becomes smaller and smaller. But oh well, that's kind of to be expected. Finally, we have Pavel, who's a fast runner. Actually, let's read the bios of these three. Before this whole mess began, I lived with my wife and son in the better part of the city. I haven't seen them in a long time. I hope they're okay. I'm not doing so well, as you can see. Who needs football players during a war? Nobody cares about sports when every day can be their last. So I scavenge the ruins like everyone else, hoping for the best. Their bios will also update as time goes on. That's to... Oh, right. I accidentally clicked on upgrading the workbench. Instead, I want to make something. So I can't confirm this, and I haven't seen anything in the wiki, but I don't think the trader will come and visit you until you actually have a radio. I can't confirm it, but I had one situation where I swear it was like 7 days, and I never saw the trader. Then I built a radio, and he came right away. Sorry for the burp. Next, let's make a bed. That's going to be... Beds are definitely important here. I am of the philosophy that you need one less bed than you have people. So if you have 3 people, you only need 2 beds. If you have 4 people, you need 3. I've only ever had 4 people because you will have someone recruit come and ask for shelter later on. I've always said yes, unless we get this one bitch who I do not like at all. So listen to the radio. The rebel leader instructed us to warn the listeners not to cross the front line. Failure to comply could result in death. Upcoming days shall still be nice and warm. Perfect for a stroll in the park. Yeah, if you want to get your head shot off. The Weather FM is very confusing for me. It's like they are oblivious to what is going on. So perhaps it's in like a government-controlled area that radio station is broadcasting. There's one more station that's actually newsworthy. Despite desperate counterattacks by the rebels trying to lift the siege of Pagorin, I'm just going to say that. I'm probably saying that completely wrong. The city remains cut off. Government forces do not allow any aid to reach the city, claiming it would end up in rebel hands. There's also 2 music channels. There's this one over here that's... It's kind of like some weird, like, grungy music. I don't care for it too much. There's one that has classical music, which I always put on. It's nice. It's kind of moody. Kind of reminds me of Fallout 3. You could complete a quest for this woman who was looking for a violin that was put in one of the vaults, and after you do, you have access to her radio channel where she will play music, and it was always very nice. It's kind of a different from the I forgot the name. Goddamn, I forgot the name of whatever Three Dogs channel was, and then there's the propaganda one that you can always hear. So what else can we build? Okay, he's done. There's a treehouse out here. You can't really do anything with it except for get some parts from it. Okay, next, what should we get? Metals Workshop's going to be important, so let's make that next. So sending them out, clear out these. It's such a wasted space because you can't put anything out here. You can't like make plants because you can only do that inside because the other starting place has no outside. I got 2 raw meats already. That's a pretty good start. Once she's done building, I'll put her to sleep so she can recover from her slight sickness. Okay, that's all good. Let's have him then pick this lock on this this cabinet here and see what goodies are in there. How many lockpicks do we have? We have only the one. Alright, you go lay down, Bruno. We come over here. Let's make a crowbar. Actually, I don't want to use that lockpick. Let's just start working on this while Bruno makes that crowbar. The crowbar can do the same thing as a lockpick, except it's louder, but it also has multiple uses, whereas lockpicks are single use. And since it's just around here, you don't need to be silent, so might as well use a crowbar for it. And it's done. Let's put them on that. Okay, there we go. We still have that lock. Yeah, we do. Damn it! That's one thing I do not like is that I'll have things clicked to do that, and I actually can't. That made no sense at all. I'll think I'm. Okay, let's see what we got here. Oh, get some herbs and stuff. You got a lot of herbs, like it's fucking Resident Evil. I'll think I'll have one character selected and have him think like, oh, I'm sending Bruno to do this, when in fact I have Pavel in bed and don't realize that I have him selected to do something. Oh, speaking of which, let's have him go up here. Now you might think, well, this seems kind of boring for a game. Well, this isn't. This is only half the game. This is like the management part. As you can see, the time is progressing. At a certain time, the day will end, and we will go to scavenging out in the shelled cities. We can't do it during the day because there's a war going on, and we get our asses kicked. Well, not kicked, but killed. So Bruno's finished that. Let's see if there's anything else we can make now that we got a few more materials. We can make another bed. I'm going to do that just because the first night you never get raided. Raiding is another thing you have to watch out for. If you can't have people, all of them sleeping, because then no one will protect you from the baddies who come around. One thing I wish this game had, though, was like WASD screen scrolling instead of just edge and click and drag. Just like a consistency thing across multiple games. Actually, let's see if we can have him go. You could just keep climbing back up, dude. You don't have to go back to the bottom. See if he can make him a shovel, because that'll make things a little bit easier for us. No, he cannot, so let's go back to break in here. He should be done breaking that door by the time Pavel is done digging up this pile. Actually, no, probably not. Oh, and you use tab to cycle through the survivors. I only read Pavel's bio. I didn't read any of the others. I just realized. Oh, another thing for it to mention: some of them have addictions. The only two addictions I've seen are smoker and coffee drinker. These haven't really been that big of a deal. It usually helps with morale to have coffee and cigarettes for the people who use them. I'm pretty sure there's probably alcoholics that because you can make moonshine. So let's read this. Before the war, I used to own a restaurant. I even had my own TV show, Bruno's Cuisine. I'm sure you've seen it. I visited beautiful places where I was filmed cooking exquisite dishes. All that seems of no importance now. Don't you think? Nowadays, you're lucky if you get your hands on some canned meat or a bag of rice. And who knows how long this war is going to last. Let's read Katya. The night. I'll read that later. So now you go to scavenging. Who you pick is kind of important because, as you can see, Bruno only has 10 for backpack space, while Pavel and Katya have 12. So I rarely ever take Bruno out. Now, for the first place to go, I always go to this one that's closest. It's always got good stuff, and there's never any bad people there. You usually get a lot of you usually get a decent amount of food. As you can see, it tells you what you could find there, as well as a little snippet. This neighborhood recently got shelled, and many houses are still burning. People were fleeing for their lives and in a hurry for their lives in a hurry. So we may find some useful stuff where they're without meeting anyone. So just for speed things up, I take Pavel a lot because he's fast. I'm gonna keep her in bed. I'm gonna let him sleep as well because, like I said, you won't get spooked during the night. I don't need to take anything because I will fill up his inventory. I know that for sure. I'll fill up his inventory before I get to a locked door. I probably actually won't even go into the house. Yeah, I'll fill up my inventory with these two scavenge spots here. This house is still burning. Is it safe to go inside? Well, you don't have to worry about going inside there, Pavel. Oh, you see that? There's something there making noise. You don't know what it is, though. Good news is, though, I know for a fact it's just a rat. So, take all of the wood and all the components. These are really good materials. And I'm going to skedaddle. See, there's the rat. Hi, buddy. Sorry to bother you. If there is a person that is in hearing range where you see their footsteps, they'll also have little word bubbles. So if you don't see any word bubbles, it's safe to assume they're a rat. Tell you had a really good haul. Look what I got. Yeah, you got a good haul. That's a lot of stuff we can have. Hungry and tired. I'm not going to worry too much about feeding you right now because she's recovered. I don't know why she's still in bed though. Let's have her go to that. Have you come here and what else can we make? Make a stove next. Put it in the kitchen. So the other thing that's nice about the radio is that it'll give you, it'll let you know of things that are coming up that you should prepare for, like sieging that will prevent half the places in the city from being accessible, or that the cigarettes or coffee are becoming more scarce and thus going up in value. So far, nothing new. Go back to classical music. Let's have you make a... See if we got components for a shell. Yes, we do. Just going to make one because they have durability. Not going to worry about feeding these guys just yet. I kind of have a rule that I let them be hungry for one day, then feed them. Because they could be hungry for a couple days and be fine. It's just when they are very hungry, then you have to feed them twice. You have to either feed them one canned food or one meal, or 2 raw meat and 2 vegetables. Oh god, I'm so sorry about that. So let's have him go back down here and oh, that's him. There, he's probably gonna. No, he's not gonna break out smoke. Chairs, I really don't understand the whole purpose of. I guess sit down and relax. Let's have him breaking up here. Let's have her go up here and start working on this. It'll take her no time. I want to upgrade this this station soon so I can get a hatchet, and then I can cut down a lot of this furniture and get a lot of wood and fuel. Meds, very good, and water. So another thing I have to make soon. And books used for relaxing. A good book is uplifting. The more we have, the better. If times are hard, we can make them into fuel or for our heater or stove. Don't have to worry about a heater for a little while. Winter doesn't come for a good... Actually, I think when winter starts is actually variable. I've had it where... I think the last time I played this, it was a good 20 days before winter started, where other times it's been a lot sooner. Let's have him come down here and break this open. I'm going to do another night, and then I'm probably going to call it quits for this video and edit it and try putting it up since I got nothing else to do tonight. Wait. Go over here. Start breaking this down. It's all good. In the hood. God, that was lame as fuck. Where else? The only other place is up there, which she'll be able to take care of herself. So, he slept up. Okay, jewelry. It's a valuable. It's not usually valued that much out here because it's a war and jewelry doesn't have that much value. I guess maybe people thinking like, okay, so once it ends, I'm gonna have jewelry to sell. I'm gonna have money to keep myself up on my feet. But things like meds are way more valuable. Canned food is in high demand. Moonshine, though, is also very, very lucrative. Let's see what we need to upgrade this. Okay, I'm going to need a lot more wood and a lot more components. How about upgrading this? Can't do that, I need more components. Let's see what else I can make. I can't make anything else. What are we doing on water? Only 8, so we're going to have to... Well, I'm probably going to get water on this next run. So, end the day. Probably going to get attacked tonight, so I'm going to put both of them on guard. I'll have them sleep, actually. The garage is good. That's a place where you actually trade some meds for parts, but I'm not going to worry about going there. I'm going to go to the Shield Cottage first. Some of these places I actually have never gone to before, so we might be experiencing it together for the first time. Again, I'll probably fill up my inventory before I get to anything locked, so I'll not take a crowbar or a shovel to clear debris, because there will be debris I need to clear on this map, on this area. I'm not going to worry about the toy. Again, there's Mr. Rat. We're going to get a lot of food from here. And a lot of water. The sugar you need to make moonshine. I'm not going to worry about that too much right now. I'm going to leave that. I would rather have another space for materials. What do we got under here? Meds. Herbal meds. These are ones we can make actually both of these, but we can make these a lot sooner. They're not as good as normal meds, but they'll do in a pinch. If you're slightly sick and they don't seem to be recovering, you just give them one of those and it usually helps out. Lots of wood. Let's actually see if we can't find components. Now that this door is locked, I know that for a fact, so I'm not going to worry about it. Ooh, there we go. Lots of components. Let's fill up on wood for the rest of it. And run to exit. Alright, so this has been This War of Mine. I hope that you guys enjoyed my very first YouTube video. I probably sound like shit because I'm using a headset mic, but I'm going to try and clear that up a bit. I did a little testing and it sounded pretty good, actually. Day 3. I'll, as soon as this finishes loading, I'll leave out. So, if you enjoyed this, please stick around because I'm probably going to be making more. And without further ado, have a good one, y'all.